welcome to the
Cathedral
Yangbam Show.
大家好，大家好，你好。
짜장면.
Thank you so much for joining us today here in Los Angeles. It is Thursday.
Let's talk about the weather.
The weather is very fickle.
Let's move on.
We have a special guest here today.
Thank you. But we also have other guests.
Yes. We have Hollywood actor.
In Hollywood.
And he has very special story for you. Everybody, take a look at your screen. I'm going to play his video for you.
Watch the video.
And then you will see how amazing our guest is.
Hi, Derek. I've been trying to get a hold of Peter, and I've left like a stalker level of messages. Is he okay?
He's just a busy man.
Oh, shoot. I was afraid he was lying in a ditch, man. Can I see him?
He's out of town. Hawaii.
Hawaii? We were supposed to go to Hawaii together. Can you get him on the phone?
Can't. His cell's broken. Peter Hudson's office? 4 o'clock? All right. Bye, Peter.
That was Peter.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, why are you blocking me? I just want to see my boyfriend.
I'm sorry. Peter doesn't date people who cheat on him.
Hi, I'm here to see.
Do you have family members in the hospital?
No.
Then you're not here to see anyone. Visiting hours are over.
It's Christmas. Okay, new plan. We're carolers.
I'm not singing that song no more.
Gun? Boobs?
Yes, sir.
When do you show card counting?
There's no card counting, sir. The double down is a metaphor for believing in yourself.
Single deck or shoe? So, do I double down on a 10?
Yeah, like if a 6 is showing or something.
Okay, so if I have a 10, a 2, and another 2...
Hey, George.
What do I do?
You're doing great. You're following the steps. The progress is showing. Double down, all right? See you next time.
Okay.
Go ahead, huh? Good job.
Hi.
Yeah.
Dude, that was epic.
Oh, shit.
Hey, when'd she get here?
A couple hours ago.
Sweet.
Dude, can you move?
No, sorry, I can't.
Little dude can't move.
Wow, that was amazing.
And please welcome to Edward Hong.
Yay! Thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eddie, 你好, 你好. Wow, please greet our viewers, all your fans here.
Hi, guys.
Direct from Hollywood and live. If you would like to bid and talk to him, we are raising funds for rockthevote.org this week. Very important for everybody to get out there and vote.
I tell you, he's here. He's really here. See?
I'm here. I'm
Look at
in
him.
the flesh.
Yes.
This is real man.
So, of course, we want to ask all about you. But very interesting to me is if you saw your video, we played the theme song of your alma mater.
Mm-hmm.
Your alma mater is
William and Mary.
William and Mary College.
Yep.
Do you know it? You know how the song goes?
I don't know. I was a terrible student, so I remember it, but I can't recite the words to you.
Can we hum it? It went exactly like that.
So I was, of course, stalking you on the internet, as I do with all of our guests. And I understand that there was no Asian American studies at your college when you were there.
Yes.
Can you tell our viewers and us what you did to change the situation?
So yeah, when I was in college, I started in 2005, graduated 2009, and throughout the time there was no Asian American studies. And around 2 years in, I met a professor named Francis Tanglo-Agos. He was the only Asian professor at the theater department. And then, I was the only Asian student in the theater department. Wow. So we kind of been like Asian and Asian. All right, let's do something about it. And so
You made the Asian eye contact?
totally made it. Actually, I avoided his Asian eye contact.
Wow.
I did not want to get associated. In fact, I avoided every Asian club. All the Koreans were like, "Oh, you're Korean, you should join." I was like, "Nope, I don't want to join that."
For those of you who are not Asian, this is a very, very common story. A lot of times, Asians do not want to just be pigeonholed into just Asian clubs. They go out of their way to avoid Asians.
So when they see other Asian, they go,
Yes. Go on, please. And you and this professor.
And
please.
so I started taking his classes. A lot of it was centered on Asian American studies and film and just knowing about Asian American history. And at some point he was like, we should create a major. And in College of William & Mary, you have the option to create your own major. It's a self-disciplined major. So you have to get faculty permission and approval and then plot out the coursework that you're going to do until you graduate. So we plotted it out. And then we got approval from the college, and then the next thing I know, by the time I graduated, I had an Asian American Studies major. And since then, since I graduated in 2009, there has been 13 other students who also graduated Asian American Studies. They just got an Asian American Studies minor, which now makes them an official department, and they're hiring a few faculty. But it's interesting to know that I was part of history.
Yes, definitely.
History of America.
Groundbreaker. You are definitely groundbreaker. Now they have Asian American Studies there at William & Mary College.
So shout out to Francis Tangelo Aguas. You're the man. You made this possible. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. And thank you to you for being.
And he's shouting out back to you.
Francis.
Thank you, Edward.
So you say you were also a theater major.
Yes.
The only Asian.
I was the only Asian
in history.
Oh, not in history, but I know for sure when I was in there, I was the only Asian guy who was seriously pursuing that major. And it was harder first because in William & Mary, in the town of Williamsburg, Virginia, it's like 90% white people.
Oh.
And so most of the productions were very white-centered, like sentimental 19th century drama.
Our Town, Glass
kind of thing.
Menagerie.
So I had a weird thing going on where I would audition for them and I would never get callbacks. So two things started happening. One was I started to think, am I terrible? Am I just a terrible actor? No one wants to hire me? Or is everyone just being racist? Which I don't want to go there. I didn't want to be like, oh, is everyone being racist? So I think in conclusion, I was somewhere in between. I think there was some bias going on in the theater department, but also I was a very difficult, angry person to be around with. So I started getting the reputation as like, no, don't hire Edward. He's going to be a problem. So the only person who was willing to work with me was Francis. He would cast me into shows and he's like, no, you're good. But you certainly got to add to your problems and that might get in the way.
So he maybe just tone you down a little bit as a mentor.
A lot of people played a part in, helping me become a more nuanced person. Because during college, my nickname was, when I joined a fraternity, my fraternity brothers gave me the nickname of most likely to start a race riot. That was my nickname.
You were very angry.
I was very angry.
You're good for Spike Lee movie.
Yes. I was a very militant Asian guy. I was like, screw white people. They've done so much bad for us. And so that lasted throughout college. But then near the end, I had people like a few, to mention a few, like Jason Blackwell, these kind of people. They were the calm influencers. And they kind of slowly but surely made me where I am today. I'm still angry. I still got some little Korean temper problems, but it's definitely not as bad as it was in college.
But how do you feel about white people now?
I love white people. White people are awesome. I think the white system is a little messed up. I think
you mean in Hollywood or in general?
In general, and Hollywood is just a reflection of that. So it's we're seeing it right now with the whole Trump and thing kind of thing. But I love white people. I got no problems with it. I just think it's a system that's messed up, and that's what we need to fix.
Thank you for making that clear.
Now, you mentioned something about Korean temper. Do you have Korean temper?
No.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
So you graduated with this remarkable background, and then you pursued acting in Hollywood.
Yes.
And so what are you working on now?
What I'm working on right now is on the creative side. Right now, it's writing a lot of short films. One of them is about siblings who are dealing with their parents divorcing. Because my parents went through a divorce, and then my partner, who's writing this with me, he went through his divorce. His dad went through a divorce last year, and it's starting to become very common with a lot of Asian kids. Like in the past 5 years, a lot of their parents are divorcing, which would never have happened 10, 15 years ago.
Never allowed to divorce.
They were never.
Yeah.
But now it's happening, like it's just skyrocketing. And so there's a lot of things, and there's a lot of drama back and forth between the extended families, for my family especially. And it's something that I wanted to write about for the past 3 years. But it's interesting that it finally is now happening, because my Korean friend is also going through it. So it made it easier to, when you have someone, you're not just writing about yourself, you're writing about the collective experience. So I have that going on. There's a producer actress friend of mine, Danis Maxine. She wants me to write a virtual reality horror short film. So I'm like, that sounds exciting.
Wow. What is that? That is just online horror show?
Yeah, so like the goggles, you can buy everywhere in Target.
Yes, I had the cardboard.
There's a market for it now, where they need content. They need like fictional content. They need like, whether it be a horror film, whether it be a romance story, like anything. It's
What about a Yeongbang Cathedral?
Virtual
totally could.
reality.
Yes, and then they do a 360 view, and then just be
Wherever
like,
you look, we're
wherever
there.
you look, they're there. So, so that's what I'm working on right now. And then films that I've shot recently, they're coming out next year.
Oh, please.
The first one is Please Stand By with Dakota Fanning, Toni Collette, and Alice Eve.
Wow.
And then the second one is an indie horror film called All the Creatures Were Stirring. It's like The Office meets Christmas meets a horror story.
That was my idea.
And then it's starring Constance Wu and
Who is,
Amanda
of
Kite,
course,
who is, of course, the mother from Fresh Off
the Boat on
one of the
ABC.
hottest shows on right now.
She is a hot woman. Constance, you are welcome on our show anytime.
Constantly.
Constance Wu.
But yeah, so that's coming on Christmas. So yeah, it's been
Exciting.
pretty exciting.
So, today, did you go to Paramount? Because for 2 days they have a seminar on VR. Everybody was there. Did you go?
I did not go.
You should be there.
I should have gone.
Wow.
Don't worry, I got a phone number to a VR.
Wow.
snap.
We can be
Okay.
your peoples.
He's
We
a
can be your
podcast.
people.
He's a podcast man.
Now,
Okay.
speaking of peoples, when I got to the studio today, there was a little present waiting for me in my dressing room.
Okay.
Of course, there are always flowers. Of course, everybody sent me flowers, and they send me headbands. But today was a different, because on my dressing table, I had a big green box from your peoples.
What?
Your peoples. I want to tell you, your peoples at Cinnabon. If you guys know Cinnabon,
You know about this?
is a national.
I didn't know about this. Yeah.
Yes, Cinnabon actually.
God.
They left us a gift in our dressing room.
Look at that Cinnabon.
Now, that is very special, because your peoples knew you were going to be here, so
Dang.
they leave you Cinnabon.
Oh my God, look at this.
It is delicious.
It comes with a spoon.
Can you tell us, now we're going to eat a little of this. Can you tell us your special relationship with Cinnabon? I know it is very, very long, but
I will make a condensed version of it. I've always loved Cinnabon since I was a kid. When I grew up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, my first Cinnabon was at the Briarwood Mall there, and I fell in love with it ever since. And then fast forward to like when I moved to LA, I always talked about Cinnabon on social media. And so someone, in this case, Skylar Song, was like, you should market yourself Cinnabon as an actor. And I immediately told her that was the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Who markets himself with a pastry product? And then I thought about it overnight, and then I started to make postcards of this Cinnabon Monster logo.
But Cinnabon did not know you were
They
doing
didn't know.
this.
They didn't know.
It was like,
So-
this would be like me saying, I'm going to associate myself with Panda Express.
I know. So it was a risk, because it's like, do I have the right to do something like that? So, but I did it anyways. Made the Twitter handle Cinnabon Monster. I did all of that, and then all of a sudden, this food blogger and actress Lynn Chen asked me.
Who, by the way, is a gorgeous girl.
She is an amazing actress, and so
Lynn
she-
Chen, anytime you want to come on this show, you are more than welcome. Go ahead.
So Lynn Chen.
Nobody's coming.
Lynn Chen asked me what my story was, and I told her the story about like why I love Cinnabon so much. So I wrote it out. She tweeted it out to Cinnabon. They paid attention to it,
Oh,
and then they looped in their CEO, Kat Cole, saying, "You need to check out the story. This is amazing."
wait a minute. Let me get this straight. So you piggyback onto the back of Lynn Chen,
Mm-hmm.
right? because of course she's beautiful girl from Saving Face, and she tweeted out your story, and then Cinnabon
saw the tweet. Then they forwarded to their CEO, and then the CEO started following me, and that's how we started conversing.
Wow.
This was like around 4 years ago when this happened, around like late summer of 2012. So we kept tweeting back and forth. Fast forward to 2 years
with
later.
the CEO or with Cinnabon?
With both, like, because her Twitter handle is at Cat Cole ATL. And so we tweet back and forth, we're just talking. And then around 2014, several things started happening. A photographer named Melly Lee,
Melly.
She was like, yo, we need to like do some photo shoots of you and Cinnabon because this is something cool. So
How sexy? Do you clothesless?
I wish, but no, I had my clothes on.
Okay.
It was a very conservative shoot, but she did amazing things with it. And then at the same time, this guy named Benny Lowell interviewed Cat Cole because she was visiting LA, and he said, hey, Edward, you want to join so you can actually meet Cat in person? I couldn't, but we exchanged emails. And the next thing I know, a few months later, Cat emails me personally and says, hey, I'm coming back to LA. You want to meet? You want to have an let's just talk. Let's see what you're all about.
Wow.
So we did. And we talked for 3 hours at the Downtown Ace Hotel bar because that's where she was staying at. And I was like, my God, this woman is spending 3 hours with me. I thought it was going to be a 30-minute meeting.
This is the CEO of Cinnabon. Okay.
So she was like, and at some point, we're talking about personal stories about her life, my life, how it came to be. Then she goes, what's your dream? What's your passion? And I go, I want to be the Cinnabon mascot. I mean, like, I'm not going to hide anything. I just want to be your freaking mascot. And she's like, okay, that's awesome.
That was big, bold of you. Very bold of you to say that.
So I do all of that. And then she's like, I'm going to be real with you. Like, we don't got much money. We spent about $1 million in advertising.
All
and
for
I'm
you.
like, no, not all for me. They spend it all on social media because they're like, that's all we do.
That is
because for one, there's no competitors out there for Cinnabon. They're their own, special thing. And so they're like, we're not going to be able to pay you much, if at all. And I'm like, look, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this because I love you guys. I love the product. And I love the fact that you're spending time with me right now. So then that happened, and so that was like a benchmark in my life. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Now fast forward again to where we are
There's
now.
more?
There's more.
Oh my
So December of last year, 2015, this friend of mine forwards me a breakdown for a movie called Please Stand By, directed by Ben Lewin. He did the Sessions of Helen Hunt, and written by Michael Galamko, who is a Filipino-American writer.
Michael, we love you.
He's a great guy. So staff writer for Grimm. And then this would be his first studio indie feature with him as a sole writing credit. There's no other writer, just him.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, holy crap. And so then she forwards me that, and then the role said Cinnabon guy. And she's like, you need to...
Wait, hold on. I have to get my head in this right now, around this now.
That's a lot.
So Michael Galamko knew you were Cinnabon and wrote you a role?
He didn't know. No. They just happened to have a role called Cinnabon.
Impossible.
No, so.
But you knew him.
Impossible.
Well, how I knew him was I never met him in person, but when I was in college, senior year of college, I directed a play called Cowboy vs. Samurai that he wrote.
That's right. He is an award-winning playwright.
Yes. So then I asked for royalty rights, and he gave it to us at College of William and Mary.
Oh my God.
So I've had interactions with him before. So it's just weird to see that it kind of came full circle that he would write this film and he would write a role called the Cinnabon guy. So I see this, I freak out like no.
I'm freaking out right now listening.
So then I email my agent, my manager, and I'm like, yo, did you see this? We need to get in on this. And they're like, oh my God, we saw, we're freaking out right now. I go one step further. I send this my Cinnabon design postcard to the producers, to the director, to the casting director, Richard Hicks. And I was like, yo, you need to see me. And so then a few days go by, I get the audition. And I learned that they already saw my role. I was the last guy. Actually, I was the only guy to go in the office. It was December 15th.
Only one person audition.
That was me, because they're packing up their office, and then Richard was like, "Your manager was insistent that we had to see you because you're some Cinnabon guy. Let's see what you got." And I do it. I remember my first take was I felt like I was on crack. I felt there was so much energy. Even the casting director was like, "Whoa, all right, calm down. That was good, but let's do a little more tone taken." So we do that, and then I leave, and I'm like, "Well, see what happens."
So you thought maybe you would not get it?
It's possible. You don't know how. There's a lot of factors going in. So a few days later, I get the email from my agent, and it just said karma.
It went to Matt Damon.
No, it didn't. Thank
What?
God it went to me.
You got it.
I got the
Oh my
role.
God! What happened?
Yeah, take that, Matt Damon guy.
What happened?
You're a great actor.
You got it. Wow.
So then I shot the scene for the movie 2 months later. It was February of this year. We shot in February of this year. We shot it at the Torrance Westfield Mall, and then we shot it at the Cinnabon store because I learned when I read the script is that in the story Dakota actually has an affiliation with Cinnabon. That's all I'm going to say about spoiling the movie.
Right.
But Cinnabon does play a big part in this movie,
Wow.
so it's going to be their first major thing.
Did you tell Kat that you were in this movie?
Oh, yeah, I mean, so here's the story. So when I was on set, the producers, these are the people who also produced Money Monster, George Clooney and Jodie Foster.
Grant Rosemeyer is in that. We love you,
And
Grant.
Julia Roberts.
Anytime you want to be on this show, Grant Rosemeyer, you are welcome to be on the show.
So they come to me and they're like, hey, so we got your postcards in the mail and we saw it. And we normally don't look at postcards from actors or anyone.
Oh.
So we looked at it, we're like, oh my God, this guy clearly is, loves Cinnabon, and I think he's going for a role. I mean, obviously. So what they do is they called Cinnabon. They're like, do you know Edward Hong, the Cinnabon Monster?
Wow, they checked to see if you
Because
legit.
obviously, because
They call CEO.
they call like the marketing manager.
And they all know you, right?
They all know me.
They
Okay.
said, is this kid legit?
Is it? That's basically what they asked. And then they go. Cinnabon goes, we love Edward, and this is the part where thank you Cinnabon for doing this. Where they said, if Edward hasn't auditioned, he needs to audition, and if Edward already auditioned and he was good, give him the part.
That's it.
What?
Simple. Right to
What?
point.
That was it. And so the producers heard that, and they're like, they called Richard, the casting director. They're like, all right, so Cinnabon pretty much loves this guy. Let's give it to him.
Yes.
And then they gave me the part. And so
yes.
I was like, and then originally there was actually going to be 2 Cinnabon employees with their lines kind of like divided in half. They just merged it into one.
So you
So
got
I just got all the lines. So I was like,
Oh
all
my
right,
God.
I absorbed it all.
Oh my God.
So then that was back early February. And then fast forward to April this year when I shot Devious Maids, the first thing you saw in the clip, the headquarters of Cinnabon is located in Atlanta. And so they invited me to their headquarters. And this is where
That's
I
where-
got
that's
this
where it's
shirt
at?
right here.
Cinnabon is in Atlanta.
Cinnabon is in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh my God.
Take a smile.
Tyler Perry and Cinnabon in Atlanta.
So yeah, so it's like they invited me to their headquarters. They had me try out some of the new products. They have like a horchata liquor
Oh my God.
product that's gonna come out, or I think
Amazing.
it might be around. But
So you went to the mothership.
the mothership, and then I saw Kat again, and I was like, oh my God, we had a big hug.
Amazing.
And then they did their very first Facebook Live interview with me.
Oh my God.
They just sprung it on me. They were like, hey, you want to do a Facebook interview? I'm like, okay, all right, let's do it. And so that's the most recent thing with Cinnabon. I'm like,
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Wow.
And for such a wonderful, it's delicious. I have eaten these a lot. When I was growing up, I ate a lot of these.
We all did.
We all did.
It was in every mall. we
Lin
went to.
Chen, I love the beers. Would you like to hear my story about the beers?
Is that alcohol or is that?
There is
Diamond ring.
diamonds.
Diamond ring.
Lin
Wow.
Chen, I have a story for you to tweet out to the beers.
What? In this story with Edward, that is the best Cinnabon story I ever heard. Of all Cinnabon stories I have ever heard.
how many Cinnabon stories have you heard?
One.
All right. Sweet.
What is it about Cinnabon that captivated you so much when you were a little boy?
Okay, so
Just a sense memory that
there-
your mama made it for you.
I always liked it, and I know a lot of people around the world love it, but this is what I told Lynn. This is what went into the story. Like, my personal connection with Cinnabon was that around 6th grade in middle school, I was a very emotional kid. I always got picked on a lot, and so it was kind of like a tough time for me. And so,
Were you the only Asian kid?
well, there were a few Asians, but I always get picked on because for me, not just as an Asian, but as a person, I was very easy to pick on. I would get very sensitive. I would blow up a lot. It was an easy target for any bully. It's like, hey, look at this kid, just push his red button. So one time, like these bullies were, picking on me as usual, and I had a violent outburst. It was the kind of violent outburst that had me sent to the principal's office for possible suspension because I was considered dangerous to the school.
Oh my
Whoa.
And so my mom was dragged in, and this time it was just me and my mom living together. My dad was in Korea, providing money, and so she was studying at University of Michigan. So she was dragged out of her studies, and they were like, "Okay, we need to talk about your son." And then like, we we might have to suspend him or expel him.
Oh my
And then my mom was like, no, he's just emotional. I'm the only person raising him. His father's not around. And so I was like, it's really tough on me. So they had sympathy for, okay, look, Edward gets therapy or just like some sort of like, anger management and we need to see records of that. So she's like, okay. So we go out of there. My mom was pissed. My mom was like super angry that this even had to happen. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get like a total like Korean spanking. Like I'm going to get all that spanking.
Wow. Does the Korean mama also have Korean temper?
Oh, she kind of does.
Sometimes.
Sometimes she's very controlled, but she has her moments and they're scary. And so she's just driving, not saying a word. I'm like, oh my God.
That's the worst. That is the worst. My mom used to do that to me too.
And so, but
It's a
next thing
Robert
you
De
know,
Niro thing, right?
we go to Briarwood Mall, and then I'm confused. Why are we going to a mall? I mean, why are we? I don't know. Do we need to go shopping right now? So we're walking. She walks a little fast, and then we stop at Cinnabon, and then she looks at me, and I'm just confused. Like, what are we doing here? She's like, so I really don't know what to do with you. Like, you're a handful, but here's a Cinnabon. Let me just get you Cinnabon.
I'm going to cry.
And so then I had the Cinnabon, and that Cinnabon was the best Cinnabon ever. Like it was, and that memory stayed forever. And it's funny because like when my mom visited, some people actually asked her, "Hey, the story Edward's telling, do you remember?" And my mom was like, "I don't remember. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't do such a thing. Why would I take my son to a Cinnabon? That's stupid." And so it's funny that my mom denies it. I'm like, Mom, all right, it happened. It really did. But I'm always going to be thankful for Mom for doing that. And I'm going to be thankful for Cinnabon because it provided a source of comfort. And I see why Cinnabon loved the store because their whole motto is like, life needs a little more frosting. Life needs more frosting.
Oh.
And so they were like, no, that's what we do. We make people's lives feel better. Yes, we know we're like 800 calories per box. So I think you're eating about 800 calories.
Most
right?
went
These
on
are
my
the little.
face.
This was not the classic.
It's a little one.
It's a
So
little one.
probably like maybe half of that.
Yeah, see, they gave us the whole box. I want to show our viewers how generous your peoples are.
But what's in there is lots of love and hope and future. That's what Cinnabon has provided for Mr. Edward here.
Yes.
Thank you to your peoples for
Thank you,
providing this
Cinnabon.
to us and our studio audience.
So there you have it. That's the story of Cinnabon.
That is the most amazing story.
That is, I cannot wrap my head around this. My brain is in so many
We are so happy today. This is like Oprah show. Everybody in studio audience
Everybody-
get Cinnabon.
Yeah, you want to get
Everybody.
Cinnabon. Everybody, look under your chair. If you have a Cinnabon, that is for you.
Under your bun is Cinnabon.
There you go. So thank you to all your peoples and Cinnabon for providing us this delicious
Oh,
treat.
this is even more delicious now after the story.
Mm-mm.
And the way they got it to us, I think they couriered it from Atlanta. Was that right? Maybe they got one of the closer stores to bring to us. But
Straight from Atlanta.
so wonderful. Thank you so much to your peoples. Thank
Yes.
you.
Amazing. So I went to Virginia last year. So
You did?
I was at your school at Colonial Town, right?
Oh yeah, Colonial Williamsburg. Yeah.
Yes. Is that it?
Yeah, that's like where you were transported to the 1600s.
Yeah, I walked around. I said, "Oh, this is also a college."
This is true. Like they maintain it as historic site.
So then there's the College of Mary, and then like right next to it is the Colonial Williamsburg area where all the buildings they restored it or they maintain it so it's like it's from the 1600s, and they have like historic reenactors walking around.
Wow.
So some of those people are actual people from the 1600s still there. They are cobbling shoes and making all the things.
It's like the village. It's
They
from
get
the
to work
National-
that same job until they die, forever, until they get replaced the next person. This is what I hear, true story. And the recent news I heard also last month is they found this girl, I think she's 12, 13 years old.
Roanoke, Virginia.
I don't know
Oh,
that.
go ahead.
But
It's not
she,
girl.
but they found out that people used to cannibalizing
Yes.
them. That
Yes.
girl, they eat her.
Yes.
This is new news.
This was part of Roanoke, Virginia, the colony.
Mhm,
You know,
yeah.
as we know, there were no survivors except that little wooden plaque that says Roanoke, right? And again, they found a skeleton, right?
Yes, with like knife and fork marks on her skull.
They recreated it, and you can go to LA Times if you want to read the story.
Check it out.
They even talk about how the person hesitated and was very tentative in the way that they were cutting her up.
They were trying to do it with respect. And then they pick up pieces of brain.
Very historic area. You know, there are parts of this country, many of our viewers are there right now, that have been part of our country's history for so long that you are actually walking among historic buildings and it must be fascinating, really, you know, when you live back east, because that is how
Life
we
was.
started, and then everybody went out west. But you really have the history and the American culture stead right there in the East Coast.
It's funny you say it's fascinating because, you know, for an outsider, that's what you think. It's fascinating to be surrounded by so much history. However, for a college student, it was boring.
Oh.
It was so boring
Here we
because
go.
because there was
It's all
nothing open late. Everything closed
Everything
at
we talk
9
about,
p.m.
all
Nine-
go down the
Go down the
drain.
train. We're
all
such a
down.
boring town. The only thing at
I
the
love
time,
Virginia.
and the
I
only-
love you people.
The only time,
It is a romantic state.
stop it. So it's so the only thing that was open 24 hours was a place called Wawa. It was a convenience store. That was our haven. That was like our hangout spot. We would
Wawa.
go like,
Like strip
hey,
club.
what's the? We wish, but it was just a deli mart and like, you know, food, and that was it. That was the only thing that was open 24 hours. And then the only nightlife activity in our area was the fraternity unit housing, which were these square buildings with no ventilation. So when they have their dance parties in the basement, it was just sweaty, smelly, all this like hormones in the air. That was our life.
It's humid, very
humid.
Wow.
So that was our life in William & Mary. It was like I've never felt true boredom until I lived in William & Mary. Now, granted, there was a tremendous, diverse, like, you know, extracurricular student activity life. So I'm grateful for that. That made college William & Mary such a memorable experience. But if people ask me, hey, how's the nightlife? They're like, it doesn't
Nothing.
It
exist.
is principally
Nothing.
liberal arts and humanities college.
That's
yes?
true,
Yes,
yes.
true. Yeah.
I went to the airport. I could not get out because no Uber rides available. Zero. I was stuck in the airport at 11:30 at night. Oh my God.
Because the town
Oh
had
my
gone
God.
to sleep. That's what you were saying.
Everybody
Yes.
sleeps.
Mhm.
Everybody sleeps.
That's true.
So there's no EDC concerts out there.
No. Okay, well, there was like we had at our college, we used the basketball stadium, and we had a My Chemical Romance and a Muse concert.
Oh, My
Muse-
Chemical Romance.
This was when My Chemical Romance was as heyday, and Muse was you
Muse.
know a relatively known band. They opened for Muse, and then they opened for My Chemical Romance, and it was crazy because now Muse is one of the biggest bands out
Yeah.
there. So I remember going there, and I was like, what was great about it was that the tickets for William & Mary students was $15. That's all we had to pay, and you know these kind of things would go for hundreds in other
Yeah.
places, especially LA. And so I got to watch it. I got to see Muse for the first time. I'm like, this band is amazing.
Right.
So we've had some activities like there, and I think Steve Aoki actually came to our school to DJ, and he DJ'd
Wow.
at our campus center in the second floor. And so they rented out this relatively small room and DJ, and then he was there.
Oh my gosh, I would love. Did he throw birthday cake at you?
I don't know if he did.
Oh my
but
gosh.
but then they packed so many people in because it was like those things where it's like, oh my God, we have something to do with it. We gotta go to this.
Steve Aoki came.
Yeah, so
By
that-
the way,
that
you
was
ever
pretty
want to
amazing.
come on the show, Steve Aoki, you are more than welcome to come here. We would love to have you here.
Bring your Benihana tours.
That is, he has a fantastic documentary on Netflix. If you
I
have
heard
not
about
seen
it, yeah.
it's fantastic.
Mhm.
He talks about having a Japanese father who, his Steve Aoki's father was Benihana, the founder of Benihana.
yeah.
And he was very driven and very goal-oriented. And so
He doesn't sleep. He doesn't believe in sleep.
does not believe in sleep. And quite the race car driver, really. And a
Wow.
wrestler. He was a wrestler, a national wrestler for Japan. And Steve Aoki talks about being Asian American and having a father who has expectations of the son. I don't know if either of you feel the same way. You're both Asian American. If you had the type of father who had high expectation for you, I have known many.
I exceeded his expectations.
Have you? You have. Here in Hollywood, of course. young
Yeah,
man.
it's very tough because, like, in the same way with me, when I was about to start acting, right before I left for LA to make the decision to go to LA, my dad, when I visited Korea, he, when I told him that, he was like, you got a really ordinary face. I don't know how you're gonna do well in Hollywood.
Your father
He said that.
to
He
you?
said I have an
This is a Korean
ordinary
thing to
face.
say.
And so
You're
I was
ordinary.
like,
It's okay.
I was like,
Oh,
in my mind, I was like, how could you say that? That's such a terrible thing. But then I'm like, no, that's That's what my dad would.
It's a compliment.
That's a normal thing.
Is it because they want to humble you, or is it really because
It's
they
how
feel-
Koreans say.
yeah,
You look big. They say, hey, today you look fat.
How do you
Yeah.
say that in Korean? Like, I would like to get the intonation. Maybe I can see. What would you say if you're father to son?
야 오늘 너 이렇게 살쪘어.
Well, that's a very gentle tone.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like when there's that tone where it's like they say it, but they're also putting you down at the same. So they say love, but they're putting you down at the same
Yes,
time.
it's common.
Such a Korean thing. It's
Very
so
Korean. But as American culture, you have to not take it as sensitive. It's a
you gotta have a thick skin.
problem is two different culture idea for children growing up, and they don't know how they take it more harder. But it's not that hard.
I see.
Yeah. Now my dad's proud of me. He's like, I think it's a lot to do with the Asian expectations that when they're a kid, if they're pursuing arts, kind of like Steve Aoki, like when he started getting paychecks from his career.
Yes,
That
yes.
changes
It
everything.
changes
That
everything.
will
Oh
change
my God.
My
every
dad
day.
is like, oh my God, my son's an act. He's like, yo, check out this YouTube clip. He was on this show. Look at, he was on New Girl. He goes all the time. My mom was much harder, please. It was only until 2 years ago that she finally accepted that I will be an actor, that I would not be a professor with an MFA in acting or whatever. And I knew that she finally, caved in because. One time we were on vacation and it was me, her, and her mother. And I was looking through her phone because I need to go on the internet. I noticed on her bookmarks was my acting page. She had my acting page saved. And I remember I asked her about it once again. Total Asian, total mom style. She denies everything. Totally denies it. What are you talking about?
Oh my
She denies
goodness.
Cinnabon. She denied
Your acting page. This is your omani, right?
No, my
Omani.
Omani.
Oh my goodness. So she is very much. So those of you who are not from the Asian culture, our parents are secretly proud of us. They do not tell us to our face.
They always put us down. They always
put us down.
But everything is okay once you make Korean newspaper. Once you make Korean newspaper, everything is better.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Is that right?
$1 million check does not matter. You go CNN does not matter.
But
Korean newspaper, it matters.
I haven't gone to that party yet, so I'm glad my parents have slightly lower standards on that. They're like, okay. However, if I do make it to Korean newspaper, they would be like, my mom would have
Official.
her pom poms.
That would be it.
It's
my God.
official.
Yeah, she would go to every single movie premiere. She would do all of that.
Because
If I make it to the Korean.
is it
newspaper.
because the Korean newspaper will validate
It's
to their
true.
friends?
Everything in Korean newspaper is true.
Because not only that, but that means it crossed over from America to
It
make
made it big
some
time.
impact in
It made
the-
it big time.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see. Yeah. Okay. That is also bragging rights for your parents.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
They're like, look at my son, look at how amazing, and it's so
What did
funny.
your son do?
Yeah,
They
but it's
say.
funny because then it'll be like a complete 180 from like 5 years. They're like, oh, what was he? Oh, he's an actor. He has no ambition in life. That's what my mom said to me 3 years ago. We were at a lunch with her because she's a professor at Seoul National University.
oh, so what does she teach?
She teaches international relations and
Oh,
political science. So she's
wow.
super smart woman. And so we were having lunch with her professor colleague, and he asked me what I do, and I said I'm an actor. And that's when she said, "Oh yeah, my son has no ambition in life." And I'm like, "Mother."
Ouch,
I
burn.
know.
That
And she
is the
says
burn.
it's such a dry matter. It's like super dry cut. And I'm like, man, that's skill right there. Like just saying it with no emotion, but it's just full of like bites. It's like, man, she got that. She got that
It's
master.
like a piranha in the pants. Nobody sees
pretty
it, but
much.
it's biting all of your pants inside.
Yes,
that
that-
sounds about right.
that is-
Don't cry.
I'm not crying.
Don't
It's okay.
cry.
My
This
mom,
is interesting
my
to
mom
me
has fully
because-
accepted it.
You know, they talk about Hallyu in Korea, like the Korean wave and the celebration of
wave.
actors and singers. And wouldn't your mother embrace that since that is now pop culture in Korea to be an actor?
No.
No.
It definitely is on the uprise. Like we're seeing, for example, break dancers back 10, 15 years ago. People were just seeing them as Korean kids just mopping the floor with the head. But now it's like, it's more respect. But even then, Koreans or just like any East Asian culture or South Asian culture, they want their kids to have a stable financial income. That will never change. So if I told my mom, even though as happy as she is for me, if I said I give up acting, I'm gonna be a lawyer, she would be like, oh my God, that's amazing. Because it's like it's financial, there's like a steady financial income, there's a 401k, there's all of that. And then more importantly, it provides the retirement money because you're providing for them, you're giving to them.
Wait a minute. That is factor into your success is that you can provide for
Yes.
them.
In Korean culture, you need
That is very
some
different
kind of
from-
security because Korea is always being attacked by other country. Never security about little tiny country. So
Now that is different from American culture.
Yes.
Because parents in America do not expect your children to support you after when they retire.
Yeah, they send them off to retirement homes
Right.
and nursing homes, but here, like, they live with them
Ah,
for,
true.
for a really long time. Retirement homes don't really exist in Korea. I mean, like, and if they
Wow.
do, it's looked down upon. It's not what you do. Like, you're expected to take care of your parents, and so that's why they want their kids to have a successful career. For that reason, that's
they're watching out for themselves.
Oh,
it's
interesting.
kinda
That-
selfish.
For their own security.
Wow. That is very interesting.
We raise you so you can take care of us. We need
I know.
personal robot.
Yeah, we birthed you, we fed you, we paid all this. The least you can do
Now
is
you pay back.
provide the rest of our lives.
Now you pay back.
Yes.
And this is very nationally, culturally acceptable
Yes.
for you to factor your children's success into how they can support
Mhm.
you.
That is true.
Interesting. If this is your story, please do call in or write a little chat to us. We would love to hear from you. Yeah, this is very, very different from American culture.
Mhm.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing all of that and yourself with us and our viewers. It is unfortunately time for us to wrap it up.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Show is over.
Show is over. Of course,
But-
please do come back.
We do say thank you
Yes, of
to
course.
this young man.
Mhm.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
we definitely want to thank you. And once again, I just want to show the viewers, if you are looking for Edward Hong, you are all over social media
Mm-hmm.
at
Cinnabon Monster.
Cinnabon Monster.
All one word.
All his social media.
Mhm.
You want to find him on Twitter, on
Instagram,
Instagram,
on
Facebook.
Facebook. Easy to find.
And again, we really want to thank your peoples at Cinnabon for giving this delicious gift and this wonderful story. It is just wonderful. For those of you out there, please click on the little heart to the side of the screen so that you can follow us. You will get automatic notification every time we broadcast live. We broadcast live every Monday and Thursday nights. This is our social media. Please do follow us. If you cannot find Edward, we have linked him to our social media. And Cinnabon, thank you so much for following our Twitter. We cannot say thank you enough for following and giving us these special treats. For those of you out there, if you are watching this as a recorded video, please be sure to watch us every Monday and Thursday at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock is the show.
10 o'clock. Yeah. So, any last words, Edward?
If I'm a plain-faced actor, a plain-faced guy, and I can be in an acting career and have some modicum of success, I honestly think anyone can. So if you have any doubts that you wanted to pursue an acting career, and you just didn't think because you thought you were ugly, you thought you were untalented,
Or your
whatever,
mother tell you, or your father tell you that.
it's like I've learned that it just takes training, good attitude, follow-ups of every people you've ever worked with before, plus time. You're gonna have a career. It's really simple.
And not just acting, with anything.
With
Anything
yeah,
you want to
anything.
do.
Yes.
If you
And
are, yeah.
Yeah, I say this is not plain-faced guy.
No, I do not
This
think he is
is
plain
not
face. He is
plain.
very attractive. You
Oh
are
my
very
God,
thank
attractive. Your father was trying to humble you because he was like, this kid is so good looking. He's going to go out of control if I don't say anything.
I believe it. I
Of
believe
course.
it now.
Okay, so thank you all so much. We hope to see you on Monday when we will have another special guest. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.